Alright, lots of fun synth interpretation here. For this, I'm going to be using a drop D tuning. So we'll have the D, A, D, G, B, E. Alright, and you can kind of break this up into, I guess, 3 different layers or sections. A couple of them kind of have 2 sections per layer, but we'll start here with this kind of like first synth. It's the one that fades in. It's real kind of light in the background, and it's like this almost arpeggiated vibe thing happening. And I think we can make it sound pretty nice here, picking through this first shape, which is be kind of like a B minor. And we'll start with like this area here, like down here, kind of the higher 3 or 4 strings. And we'll pick through this B minor where we go 4G, 3B, 2E. Do that a couple times. And then just hit the 3B, 2E again. All right, and then we'll move to what's part of like an overall like D5. We'll want this 4 on the D, and then we'll kind of do a little movement up here from the 2 on the E to that 2G, and then we'll keep that 3B, and we'll pick the 4D, 2G, 3B, go through that twice. Kind of the same picking style we used with that first bit, and then just hit that 2G, 3B again. So we went. Alright, and now we're going to move to an F sharp minor lick, which basically you just keep that 4 on the D, and then we'll just bar 2s on the G and B. And with this, we'll pick it a little different. We're going to start at this A note here, the 2 on the G, hit that, go 2B, back to the 2G, then the 4 on the D, and do that twice. Come back to that 2G, and then there's this real distinct F sharp note to a B note. All right, and the way I like to get that is I'll come down, hit the 2 on the high E. All right, just make sure you really nail that one to help it like cut through everything. And then you can hit the 2B, and then we'll add this extra B note here on the 4G just to help that ring out a bit. And we'll hit the 4D, hit that 4G, 4D, 4G, and then throw in the extra B octave at the open B, so it goes. So it's kind of a movement here where we're just making sure that note, those 2 notes come out. So that last little bit, it looked like. All right, and once you kind of get it moving up to tempo, it really kind of flows better, and you can hear the note kind of, those 2 notes kind of pop out a little bit. So let's just try the whole thing a little bit slowly here. So moves kind of nice once you get it up to tempo there. And the second part of this, it's a little bit of flip-flopping of kind of the same little shapes here and kind of a new little ending. But we'll start the same way with that B minor, the 4, 3, 2. Pick it through just the same. And then we'll want that D5 shape that we had, but we're going to pick it a little different. We're going to start, we'll have the 4D, 2G, 3B, but we're going to start at the 2G. Pick that, then the 3B, 2G, 4D. Do that twice. Okay, so same chord, we just kind of start at a different note. And then after we get through that, hit that 4D again, and we're going to pick through that F sharp minor shape, the 4D, 2 on the B and G, and it's going to be right down through it, right back up a couple times. Go through the 4D, 2G again, 4D. It's kind of this extra little count with that chord. And then we switch to kind of this overall E vibe. Here it's got like a 6 and like a sus thing going there, but the root note, you want to hit that 2 on the D for that E note for sure. And then you can just pick it down through, kind of like we're making an A chord or something. But we just do the 2D, 2G, 2B, back to 2G, 2D. Alright, it's kind of a funky little timing where that chord comes in. It's almost like an offbeat and then a couple hits on it, but let's try that section slowly here. Alright, and those two different sections just kind of loop throughout the majority of the song there. They'll fade out a little bit and come back in, but then we get like that big kind of vocal chant riff here, and this is where like the drop D comes into play, where we want this B5, so just hit 9s on the DAD, just give it a big hit and let it ring, and then you can kind of slide it out to the open D power chord, the open DAD there. Hold that for a bit, and then we finish at the F sharp power chord, so just 4s on the DAD. Alright, and that whole vocal will just loop like that. Eventually, we'll get this second synth that comes in, and it's this more, legato, sustained kind of thing going on. I like that, and you can kind of get a vibe like it's kind of hitting, like quarter notes. So you can strum at quarter notes. I think it sounds good just to kind of keep it going. But it's basically that overall kind of vocal riff, but we add in some notes here and there. So it's the 9s on the DAD, but you throw in 11 here just for that extra octave there. And like I said, if you want to strum quarter notes, it's cool. Just kind of makes it stand out a little more, I guess. And then we slide out to the big open D, and you can throw in the 2 on the G with it. The F sharp, but here it gets a minor note in with it, so you do the 4 on the D and the A, and then throw in this 7 on the middle D here. Okay, it's kind of like a digital bath chord there, and we strum that, strum it out, and then that last couple beats we get that F sharp to open B note going, so you can just come down and hit the 7 on the B and then throw in the open B. And if you can mix in like the chord strumming with it, that's cool. I kind of like to do that. Okay, up to you. And the second run through of that section starts the same, the 9s with the 11, slide out to the opens with the 2, do our F sharp with the minor, the 4s with the 7 there on the middle D. And the same deal, but we're going to want that E for the last 2-3 beats there. So I just drop down, hit 2s on the low D and the A. You can skip the middle D if you want, and then just get that 1 on the G. Alright, so those 2 synth lines will just alternate as well. And basically those 3 different layers, once you get those, you should have pretty much everything happening in the song.